What up, y'all? It's the Morning Hustle with L'Oreal and Kyle Santillian. Shout out to Alton Walker. He's running around here somewhere. And listen, man, we have another guest in the studio. You know, our door's always open.
Yes, it is.
People come through. And this person I know very well. She has become an amazing internet sensation. And, you know, she got a lot of people through the pandemic and has turned into something bigger than I think she even imagined.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kendra G.
Kendra G.
You didn't say that we used to work together. Are you able to talk about
Did I
your
say
past?
that? Yeah, we can say that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I said I witnessed it, so we'll get into all of that. So yes, Kendra's here today here on the Morning Hustle. But for all the hustlers that may not be familiar, I came to the show from Chicago, and Kendra and I worked together in Chicago for 8 years.
8 years.
8 years on the morning
that's a
show in
long
Chicago.
damn time.
8 years.
I'm
right?
trying to get rid of Kyle today.
And, you know, we had a lot of success in Chicago. We did some great things there, but now we both ended up moving on. And you took something that you started while we were in Chicago when the pandemic hit. You remember when everybody was in the house and everybody was going to Instagram and everybody was just putting content on live and all kinds of stuff?
I was like, what is Kendra doing with these people on Instagram Live? Every time I look at my phone, Kendra was going live. I didn't know what was going on initially.
That's right.
So
you started Singles with Kendra G.
Yeah.
But even before Instagram, you started with Clubhouse, didn't you? Tell the story, the backstory.
So the story is I was in a relationship during the pandemic, you know, and then we broke up. And then D Nice was doing like getting everybody dancing on IG Live.
That was
so I was like, during the pandemic when you were single, that was like Will Smith and I Am Legend. It was just like me and my dog at the time in the house. It was a very lonely time. So I said, you know what? If I'm single and I feel this way, let me connect with other single people. I went live one night. Wasn't even a show that first night, but I knew that night if I took it serious, I would change my life forever. And I did. I took it serious. I wasn't playing no games. It came more important than the morning show job I had with Kyle. I was like, I got to do my show. So we grew from Instagram to Facebook to YouTube, and now I have my very own dating app, Kendra G Singles. People have gotten married. I've been to weddings. Babies have been created.
That's crazy.
It's been 5 years, and I'm like, my whole life changed. All during the pandemic because of that show.
You've helped all kind of singles, even to the point where you're no longer a singles.
Well, okay, I was, but no, we single again.
Oh, you single again?
Yes.
Okay, I missed the step.
No, it's all good. I'm newly kind of single, so I get how you thought I was still in a relationship. But I love my single season because single season is a season where you get to really focus on yourself. And single doesn't mean lonely. Single just means nobody can no longer claim me.
Right.
Okay, you might have a roster out here. May the best man win.
See, I'm so glad you say that.
Why
do they act like women can't have rosters, or that makes them a hoe, or this, and the third?
Well, I would say this. I ain't out here sleeping with everybody like that, L'Oreal child. But I do think you should have. This is how men date. This is why sometimes men don't get in relationships, because single life, they do it right. They use their energy how they want to do it. They don't commit to one person, and then one person they like a lot, they'll settle with that person. But that's how you're supposed to move as a single woman. Listen, nobody owns you. Move around, date, get to know what you like, what you don't like, and focus on yourself.
You know, one thing I love about it, and I feel like your show has even brought you into more of a revelation of how men actually think.
Yes.
We used to be in the studio like this, and we would always be having debate. Oh, I'm about to say the N-word. Why dudes be acting like this, or why women act like this? And we would always go back and forth. And I feel like with the show, and as you talk to more people, you started to think like, oh, maybe what Kyle or maybe what Leon was saying was actually right.
Okay, I will definitely give y'all flowers. They were right about the male's perspective. So what this show has done, I have talked to more than 15,000 single people at this moment.
Wow.
So everyone is different lifestyles, different cities, different incomes, all different factors, right? But I think that a lot of women do want this unrealistic guy because they want him to be very attractive, have a lot of money, give you good sex, know the Lord, only have sex with you, you know.
This sounds normal. Like, I can do all those things and it doesn't take me so much effort.
But you're not a man. Let me tell you why it's different, because, see, the men, unfortunately, they have so many women. Like, I'm going to have an event tonight, and there will be 80% women to 20% men. So already in the numbers game, the men have more options, right?
But also, your event is in Atlanta.
No, but this is everywhere. I had an event in Chicago, Dallas.
And it's always 80 to 20?
It's always more women than men. It's just, so now we have that factor. Now it's the guy that y'all all want. And every single woman, regardless of her career, how she looks, how many kids, how attractive. She still wants Idris Elba. You know, she still wants Morris Chestnut. So you may think you are sensational, and you probably are sensational. But if there's a guy who's not looking to settle down, the world is at its oasis, because there's so many attractive, beautiful women who want the fairy tale that they have to choose from. So then it comes down to who fits within my life. One thing that I will say, most marriage-minded men, and ladies, if you want to have babies, this is the number one reason. A lot of the marriage-minded men stay with women that they have children with. That's a big thing for them. So at a younger age, and this does play, age does come into this factor. When I looked at it, the kids was a number one reason why a lot of people stay together, whether it be right or wrong. So you got to have some type of leverage, like what makes you different from the other vagina.
You don't feel like that's changing? No, that's true. But you don't feel like that's changing? Because I am seeing a lot of people, like I was talking to Notori the other day, and what she said was she was scared to leave her former partner because of the kids, or because they had a kid together. Right. But she said she knew she had to go, and when she did, now she's found love, and it's true love, and she's happy, and he treats her child the same, and whatever the case, right? So do you think that that narrative may be even changing a little bit nowadays, that it's not that everybody's marrying their child's mother?
No, everyone does not marry their child's mother. I'm talking about marriage-minded men. Like, a lot of times women are telling me they want the guy that they can marry, and when the guys come on my show, they're looking for wives because they want to start their families.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But
trap them with a baby.
Well, not true.
I put it this way. I know
you should get married.
I know for me personally, like when I first started dating my wife and I found out the type of person that she was and how she thought and how she was raised and all of those kind of things. Like, yes, of course, I'm attracted to her. She's pretty. She's cool. We can hang out. But then deeper than that, I'm like, oh, okay, this is somebody that I would trust raising my kids.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal in terms of why it's long-term.
But when did you get that thought, though? Was it
I don't know.
10 years in, like some of these
10
guys?
years in. No, I knew that, I don't know, first year, second year.
But you told her.
What do you mean? I didn't
like
tell her
when
anything.
you proposed. You didn't tell. I would never tell her she's a great woman. Why would I do that?
No. I'm just saying the relationship played out the way it did. But I'm just saying, as a guy, if she didn't have those qualities, no matter how attractive she might have been, I would not consider her for a marriage.
Right, but you understood in your mind you wanted her for marriage. How long did it take you to express that to her from when you got the thought?
Oh, I don't know. Life be lifing. So we didn't get married till years later. Well, life happens.
Right.
But the point is, like, there's characteristics beyond the looks that we consider.
I mean, but your wife is beautiful too. So yes, that matters as well too. But I will say this, going back to the example you gave with Notori, did I say it right? Notori. Listen, happiness is key. So if I'm not the person to say stay with a man just to have a man. Your happiness, your spiritual well-being, to me, matters more than anything. So sometimes you do have to leave a partner that you might have had a child with. And listen, women that have children, they still find partners. It can happen. Yeah. I was just giving that one of the number one reasons that men stay with women. Sometimes they're looking for legacy. And I think of all the guys that I know that are successful, they couldn't imagine somebody else raising their kids. But sometimes women just have kids without getting the marriage first. Doesn't always happen that way. Not saying you have a baby, it goes there, but that is one of the reasons.
So, all right, what's the number one red flag that you see?
Number one red flag is people will not self-assess themselves. People don't look in the mirror, and they can tell you everything wrong about the other person, but I have a question, what are your 3 flaws? And they can never name it, and that lets me know that you haven't learned yourself. Most people, you are yourself, are a walking red flag. And you just won't figure out why are you a walking red flag, right?
A girl from Harlem always calls herself a walking red flag.
Yeah, so everything is law of attraction, right? And you got to realize, whoever you're attracting, you got to decide, okay, what am I giving off to attract this type of person? What am I giving off that only men who just want to sleep with me only don't want to commit me? What am I giving off to attract that guy? And I could change that, and I could start attracting better. So you got to start with yourself. You got to self-assess and change yourself, and then the people that you attract will change.
Let me ask you this, because you've gained so much traction with what you're doing and the YouTube videos and stuff like that. It's gotten to the point where you put up a YouTube video of you talking to somebody on Singles, and then other people take your video and analyze it and criticize it. I was about to ask you, like, how do you deal with
videos?
I don't like it.
Not that they take the video, but some of the things they can say can be kind of harsh too.
Well, the reason I don't like it is is because, first of all, and I think they say women do it too, but it's a lot of men that do it. And it's like, you guys, can I talk how I talk?
Talk.
You guys are small penis broke men who try to break down women you will never even have a chance to talk about. And the reason I don't respect it is because they don't do the same with the guys. I get delusional men too. Now, if they were breaking down the men, I could almost respect it. But no, it's like there's a system of, I'm going to tell you why you single. Guess what? There's some women who will choose a tree over you goofies. So I don't like it because one thing I will
the tree
say,
look better.
like no, you know what I'm saying? Like, one thing I will say, Kevin Samuels was able to get his own content. People called him and respected him for whatever to hear his opinion. Y'all can't even get the women that I called you, so why are you giving their opinion? You're just doing it to make money. You owe me money. You paying your light bills, your rent. So no, I personally don't like it. I have talked about it a few times on my show, but
I wonder how you felt about it.
You also can't do anything about it. But no, I don't like them. They goofies.
Yeah.
What about people that steal your swag? Because I have been seeing other women try to start like going on IG Live, assessing other women, telling them what they need to, like, kind of putting them together. Like, so, what do you think about that?
So you know what? You know what was so interesting? And I will always love Wendy Williams. People, they had all celebrities fill in for Wendy. Couldn't nobody do her job.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Couldn't nobody do her job. So at the end of the day, you could take the formula, but can't nobody be Kendra. And I had to sit in that, right? So I saw some, and they say imitation is the biggest form of flattery.
Right.
So I get that. But what I had to walk away with is, at the end of the day, can nobody ever be Kendra G other than Kendra G? So, you know, you take it like that. You know, there's always going to be different things, but shout out to them. I'm not really a hater, but I innovated it. I didn't bite off anybody when I did this show, so it is what it is.
Yo, so when you're talking to people, what are some things that you've noticed that have been the same no matter what race of people you're talking to, and some differences? Because I know you had all different kinds of people chime in.
The same is women want tall, dark skin, 6
That's
feet.
where y'all go wrong wanting this tall dude. I'm telling y'all that for years, but go ahead, continue.
It's just the tall that's the problem, right, Kyle?
Listen, but what's so crazy is, like, they'll use, like, Russell Wilson's not 6 feet, Michael B. Jordan's not 6 feet. Like, a lot of the men that y'all will date, Kevin Hart is not 6 feet. Y'all would date these men, right? But
they're dating their pockets when they think about dating now.
Right. So that's the next part. The bank account got to be tall. So they all kind of want the same guy, and then there are women who marry these men. I have friends that have married them, but they don't know all of the story. You know, when I say on Instagram, think about it. When you post a picture, that's your best picture, but you probably had 300 other photos that never made the gram. That's what you see with marriages and relationship. They're not posting the bad times. Yeah, she got a car because maybe he slept with his baby mama and she didn't leave him. You know, yeah, she got on vacation because maybe he got a baby on the way and she ain't say nothing about it. Like, there's so many, not saying it's always bad, but there's so many factors that go into these Instagram perfect relationships. Nothing is perfect.
What about the difference? So that was the same across races. What about the difference?
The difference, give me the question.
So, like, if you have, like, black women, black men, white women, white men, Arab women, Arab men, you have all different kinds of people that chime into your show.
Sometimes white women don't care about, I gotta just be honest, sometimes white women don't care about money as much. They're like, I don't care.
No, they'll get you at the end.
Like, maybe you're right. And I feel like I had to learn this. Sometimes black women, like, I'm expensive. Like, it just is what it is. So, but you can price yourself out, because a guy might like you, might be like, you cool, but I just can't afford you.
We just talked about that.
That's why I laughed out loud. You just said that earlier today.
It's happened to me twice.
Yeah.
Like, they have said to friends of mine, like, oh, I couldn't afford her.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of had to fade the black because they couldn't tell me that they were broke.
Absolutely. Like, most men are not going to, if they know they can't afford you, it is what it is, because maybe they got to take you out on dinners. But no.
But how you didn't know from the beginning? Like, I look the same from the beginning. I don't look like no cheap bitch. So, what is it that you thought? You thought I was going to be paying? Like, I'm confused, but like, what?
No, but
What is it? Tell me what their problem is.
No, you are so funny. I love it. No, you don't look like cheap at all, but that's probably what it is, because when they might say I can take her out to dinner, but then it's like, okay, flights, what you're used to, you're accustomed to. So only a man that makes a certain amount of money can afford you. So only that guy, but now also if he could afford you, he could afford a lot of yous. So what's going to make him only spend his time with you?
Yeah.
So that's where it gets tricky.
And dudes going to shoot their shot regardless.
We need the dude to be in a certain budget range so he can only afford what I need.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. So you know what? I seen one episode that you had, and I was shocked that this woman was on there, YMW Melly's mother.
Oh.
So like her son is facing a double murder charge. This is like, and she's trying to find love. Is that like wrong, or did you? Because I'm.
Well, I get it all. Nothing surprised. I had a lady call me while she was in labor. I had a guy call me while his son was on life support.
Okay.
That's wild.
I have gotten it all at this moment. So I do remember that episode. That was on TikTok. So TikTok is a special place. Most people on TikTok are, I don't want to call them clout chasers, but I do think there might have been a little bit of clout in that particular conversation.
They were trying to play her.
But my thing is, I don't know. I never know who the people are. So I didn't know who she was. The comment section was telling me who she was. And then she did mention, this is going to sound so bad, I didn't even know who her son was.
Yeah, but she was saying it because Kendrick even mentioned him. And he said, YMW Melly, like in the song. But the thing is, like, he has a big, high-profile case because he allegedly killed his best friends and drove around with him and them in the car and then made the song about it.
Right.
The song went platinum or down, whatever the case, and that's what he's on trial for. So it's like he's on double trial because it's like a mistrial, all kind of things going on. So this has been like, so when she was on there, I'm like, girl, I think you got bigger fish to fry.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, she absolutely does, if that's the truth. You know what's so crazy? I tell my age. I'm going to be 46 this year. I used to keep up with that when I used to do what y'all do. I never heard of him. Is he okay?
He's still in jail.
I don't think so.
He's still in jail?
He's in jail.
So they're doing a retrial, which I don't. And he's young.
Yeah, she was looking for love. She was looking for love, but you gonna have a hard time.
But it was weird because then she also was like, "Yeah, my son is his song murder on my mind," and I'm like,
"Lady, get your priorities in order,
like, girl."
And I didn't, and I honestly did not know any of it.
That's
when
like
I'm
a big
to her.
moment. You know what I mean?
When I was talking to her, I was like, "Okay, so what kind of man you looking for?"
And that just rolled in on you. You had no idea.
I had no idea.
What about the Muppet?
Oh, yeah. So I've got, people have made animation. I had a girl yesterday who I don't even know if she was AI. Like the whole time, I just posted her yesterday.
I seen something about
I'm trying to figure out because I was like, is this AI or are you
human?
Said
she was beautiful.
She was so beautiful that I cannot tell if she was AI or not.
So it was fake.
I actually still don't know. She wouldn't do the Kendra cam because she looked real in moments and then sometimes she didn't look real. So I was like, the Kendra cam is when you stand up and she wouldn't do it. So it was like interesting that now I don't even know if I'm talking to a human being. You know, I get transgender people.
Crazy.
And they tell me like your transition. I literally get everything. I get poly people looking for someone to add into their relationship. So I get all dating.
I've seen
aspects.
one of those,
like Neo.
But let me tell you, I'm not mad at. First of all, I love Neo, but I'm not mad at anybody who's honest because honest gives you the opportunity to decide if you want to participate.
Right.
So and here's the deal: you can't judge if I can support the LGBTQ community. If I can support two men who want to find love together with no judgment, I can support a heterosexual male that is honest and says, you know what, I just can't be with one woman.
I think so too.
I think that what happens is a lot of times straight women, we judge that man because we want him to act the way we want to act because he's an opportunity. See, we don't want to date the gay guys, so we're not really judging what y'all do. But no, you can't support that type of dating style.
At this point, I'm considering the gay guys.
Well, let me tell you, the treatment that y'all want, the treatment. Not most men are DL.
There are a lot, not most, but there are a lot, girl. When I tell you, and especially like guys that I've been around, that like the more I've been around them, I'm like, just come on and tell me.
Y'all world be crazy.
Like they be
sometimes.
giving me little hints. I feel like not everybody, obviously, but there has been a mass majority of guys that I feel like have been trying to hint little things. And it's like, just come on out. Like, no one's judging over
Can
here.
I say that Kyle and Leon, when I did the morning show in Chicago, I had a lot of gay guy friends, still do.
Yep.
But at the time, they were like my first straight guy friends that I was talked to every day. And I know the key differences now.
Yo, we literally used to tell you, like, you're thinking that way because you're getting advice from those gay guys.
Yeah.
When we're telling you we don't operate like that.
So, ladies, you gotta get you straight. If you have a lot of gay guy friends, keep them because they're gonna big you up. Like the gay guy friends, like, yes, more hair, more makeup. Sometimes the straight guys do not like that.
No, they do not.
You gotta get the straight guy's opinion if you want a straight guy, but the gay guy is gonna hype you up.
No, the gay guy gonna have you caked up. Like the straight guy gonna have you with nothing on your face, not even a lash.
But let me tell you why it makes sense, because you're laying in bed with him. He don't want your makeup on his pillow.
That's what the main thing is.
He don't want your wig to smell.
Because the next girl might see that makeup on the pillow.
They don't want your wig to come off. Let me ask you this. So now you're transitioning what you've been doing on Singles Live to the app.
Yes.
All right. So tell people how this transition works. What can they get on the app? What's going on with that?
Well, you know what? When I started seeing the success stories and all the hookups, it only made sense when I looked into other dating like apps and how lucrative that business was. It was like, it only makes sense to go that route. And I felt like we're changing the dating app space forever because the show was going to be a part of the app. And honestly, this was my radio.
You said who's going to be part of it?
The show is going to be a part of the app.
Gotcha.
So, and I'm going to run it like a radio station. So it's going to be like 3 different shows throughout the day. People jumping on like how I do on IG Live, and you get to know the person beyond the photo. So the app now, I'm in the tech world, so it's a whole different specter. And I gotta tell you, I could give people lessons if you want.
I was gonna ask if you was gonna talk about that.
I lost probably $500,000 doing it wrong.
$500,000
doing it the wrong way.
People standing you up on the app, not doing what you asked for.
Well, first of all, when you get asked, you'll learn that a lot of people outsource in India. So when I first started, I was like, oh, let me just go straight to India. That was bad because they give you the best price, but they never really finish your app. So even though it's the best price, you don't get the app done. Then, I have the one thing about a dating app, the hardest thing is getting the people, right? So I had another company who I told them, I was like, listen, I have combined 2 million people on social media from IG, Facebook, Instagram. So I'm going to have a lot of people come. They were like, oh, we got you. They made my app, but then they weren't prepared. The server crashed. So then I lost money there. So then so now we have the right company, and it's extremely expensive, but it's the right company, and we're scaling and growing. But what I had to realize, like, you're not in Kansas no more, as in it's not just a dating show. Like, I'm literally in the tech world. I know about iOS and Androids and React Native and just things that I didn't know about prior.
Right. Yeah.
And because of that ignorance, I lost money, but it is what it is.
It's an expensive lesson, but something that you have, and now you know, and now you can help further with other people. You can help other people with their apps, and you can also do other apps.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to do, I don't want to give the ideas, but there's definitely other apps that we're going to do after this one.
Man, I'm still stuck on blowing $500,000. I ain't going to hold you.
That is crazy. So you're walking away completely from the media space as far as outside of your app and what you have going on?
Not necessarily, because there's been a lot of conversation about me doing a show.
Yeah.
So last year, shout out to Mona Scott. We spent a lot of time with her production company last year trying to figure out if that would be the right fit. I know if I do go the streaming route, the things that are necessary for success. So one of the things that we got to keep audience interaction. So it's finding out, because right now we reckless. Like, it's any, but when you go that way, there's legal things you got to think about that. You don't got to really worry about just kind of on the internet. So no, there's going to be some media opportunities that we are entertaining, but it just has to make sense.
Because I have to ask you about a show that we actually have in common.
Let's do it, yes.
So I filled in for you on the show Crown, right? So it started off with you, Selena Johnson, Vivica, and also Chanel Scott. So then it turned into, hey, L'Oreal, want to come fill in? And I was like, sure. So I thought you were just like out for a little bit.
Oh, no, I quit.
Okay, so what happened there did something happen on set between you and Vivica?
I would say this. First of all, shout out to all those ladies. Sometimes you just don't mix well, right?
Yeah.
Chemistry is very key. One thing about me is I'm very blunt. I'm very straight. And I think sometimes people, I'm silly too. So I think we definitely are. I had individual moments. It wasn't just with Vivica, right? But there was individual moments. And at the end of the day, we just learned that this isn't going to be a fit. I was so excited when I heard that you were coming on board because this is what you do, right? Like, so this is what you do. You know how to, you're excellent at your job. So I thought they were blessed to have you come on board, but we just wasn't a good fit. I'm not going to bash them because, A, they're black women, and I will definitely give them all their respect in that space, but we just wasn't a good fit for each other.
And I wouldn't want you to bash them either way, and thank you for saying those nice things. It was just that I know that there was a little tension at some part.
Oh, no, there was definitely a lot of tension.
And I mean, really, I got most of it from the viewers because there was comments on certain episodes that they were like, oh, well, okay, it don't look like they are too friendly with each other. So it was really more so the viewers that caught on, and they did miss you. They missed you on the show. Because we saw some of the comments like, hey, where's Kendra? But so everything's all love now.
Well, no, I haven't seen them forever. I mean, I haven't seen them since that moment. No, I just think that respectfully so, the way I really look at it is we just weren't a good fit for each other. I think, obviously Vivica Fox is an actress legend in our black community. Selena Johnson could sing anybody down to the ground. Shouts to Chanel, who's also doing her own thing. But, chemistry is key, right? And if you don't fit, you don't fit. I knew first episode, and I said it. I was like, I don't think I'm going to mix well. Because,
really?
Yes, because me and Chanel kind of got it in the first episode, and it got personal, right? And I'm a straight shooter, and then, it's just like, I could take it, but I felt like, okay, this is getting, like, this is personal, and it got edited down. I was like, you know what? And I remember I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be a fit, because all I know how to do is be myself, right? So, and as we went on, there was more moments like that, and then we just got to the point where, okay, I'm going to walk away from this.
Yeah.
But no, you were great. I think you were exactly what I felt like they needed. They needed a person that can speak their mind, outlandish, knows what she's doing. So I was really excited.
That sounds exactly like you.
Wait, but let me ask both.
It sounds like what you do.
As I'm sitting here listening to the two of you had this conversation, I'm kind of like, my mind is blown right now, like, because I'm listening to what you guys are speaking on, in terms of you not mixing with them and the chemistry, you know what I mean? And I know that I'm here and we have a chemistry on this show. We had a chemistry on our last show, and I know both of y'all are very outspoken, and I know that when we talk about chemistry, it's something that develops over time. Like, we've gotten into it before.
I was going to ask that next. Like, so what about y'all two? Because you know I wasn't going to let that slide.
Look, me and Kendra got into it in the past. Me and L'Oreal have had our conversations, you know what I mean? So is it more like, do you feel like chemistry is something that can be built over time, or is it just like, nah, you just knew from the door? Because, who knows? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think respect has to be a given, right? So you got to start there. Me and Kyle definitely clashed in the beginning of, we had to learn each other. One thing I will say about Kyle was like, Kyle's the responsible one. Me and Leon were kids. Like, me and Leon used to come in late, but we knew Kyle held it down. And when Kyle left, he was like, damn, we got to act right. But no, I grew to really love and appreciate Kyle throughout our time because, Kyle is a great person. One thing I got to give Kyle his flowers is, Kyle, to me, is people always underestimate him. They do not see him for his value. But the great thing is Kyle knows his value. And Kyle ain't going to let you play with him. And Kyle's always going to be 4 steps forward to make sure Kyle gets what he deserves. And I've always respected that the most about you. And that's why I love when you left Chicago, you came to a syndicated morning show. You didn't downplay it. You went to another level. And to me, I had so much joy in my heart to see you come here, be with L'Oreal, and to go to where the rooms that you knew that you deserved to be in. So much respect for you.
I feel like y'all both leveled up. I did think
so, Kendra.
Don't cry, child. I was crying a little bit. But I do want to say, I did think that you actually were going to level up and take it to the Breakfast Club. Well, leveling up from because that would be syndicated.
I know all this backstory.
So basically, because in Chicago, y'all were in one market, so you were supposed to sit in for Breakfast Club, or what happened over there?
Okay, so let's get into that. So basically, I come from radio. It was the same company. At the time, I was doing my single show. So there was plans of, I knew my time in Chicago was done. Like, it was time for me. Either I was quitting and going to California. Obviously, when the Breakfast Club came about, it's like, wait a minute. Okay, let me get into this and see what this is about. And just being fully transparent and honest, I was getting a lot of pushback as just filling in, like guest co-hosting. And they had a schedule, and I was fighting to get a chance to guest co-host.
Right.
And then, it became very apparent that, they ain't really considering me for this job.
Really?
And, yeah, really.
Was it like how they were treating you?
Well, okay, let's just give the true story. The day I got to finally guest co-host.
Because you're really close with Charlamagne. That's how I know you for the most part. That's how we've met.
Right.
Yeah.
We haven't talked in a while. Big ups to Charlamagne. But during this time period, I was supposed to guest co-host. I had a day. They said the night before that I wasn't going to get, not Charlamagne, but the program director.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be able to guest co-host because things changed. Things do happen in radio. They have pre-recorded interviews. But I was able to come in the next morning and still just do some talk breaks with Envy. Well, when I went in the next morning, Jess Hilarious was there. Shout out to Jess Hilarious, super talented, deserves to be her job. Like, this is nothing about her at all, right? So I want to make that clear. I think she was an excellent choice. But still, with that being said, as a company employee, I wasn't really given an opportunity to even guest co-host, really, according to, and they would say, you were on the list, we were going to get to you. This is where the boss, Kendra, comes in. You can't get to me. Like, if I'm watching for 2 months, people getting the chance to guest co-host, and I work for the company, and I got to wait, that's not going to happen. So literally.
Let me throw this in there, too, because a lot of times, and we would have some of this dissent within the company, because we were all the same company, even though it was different cities. We always felt like being in Chicago, okay, you got New York, you got L.A., then it's our turn.
Right.
So
because it's the third largest.
Right. So if you saw
market.
people coming in from a smaller city, smaller part, you feel like, how did they get ahead of me?
But I don't even feel that way. I feel like you gotta deserve everything, right? You have to earn it. So you don't just get it just because this is a business. It's a numbers game.
Right.
I get all that. So I don't take that part personal.
Okay.
I do take guest co-hosting when they were going through that time period. Like, I wasn't given the fair opportunity during that time period. They would say, we were going to get to you. So it wasn't like you were going to get a chance to guest co-host. But literally, after that experience, I did it. And again, because I know this might go viral, shout out to Just Hilarious. That's your job. You kill it. I've always loved you. But I quit after that. Literally.
So that was the final
that was it.
show.
I was done.
Breakfast Club.
Like, that Friday, I had to go back to do one more episode in Chicago. It was May 1st. And I was going to Italy for my birthday. And I knew I was not returning, and I sent my resignation letter while I was in Italy, and I never went back.
And did they try to stop you from leaving?
Well, you got to think about it. People I'm the underdog. Like, I left. I was in contract, so I left 6 months before my contract, but I didn't get no severance package. I didn't get no unemployment. So they're like, okay, girl, I walked away from it. It's like, don't hold me to my contract. I'm not going to hold y'all to anything. And I left and I moved to Beverly Hills, California, and I started my own company and my own thing.
She bought a Rolls Royce, and that was all she wrote.
Well, now they couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Now they couldn't afford me. But I do want to say this. Life played itself out the way it was supposed to play itself out. I mean, listen, we worked in radio, right? So I'm not going to lie. That was an emotional time, right?
Yeah.
It's like I worked this hard and I don't get my fair shot to get in the game. Like, put me in the game, coach.
Right.
But I do think that, big ups to them. They're a very successful show. I think Jess
that we beat in mostly every market.
Oh,
we're on
hey, you.
together. Okay.
Oh, okay.
What? But that's family, though.
Yeah.
That's always going to be family,
Oh, okay.
regardless. We ain't got to speak every day. That's always going to be family.
But I think
we be beating them.
We do. But I think to your point, though, too, is one of the other parts that you left out was that you had already built up your singles thing so much.
Yeah, well,
that you were in a great position. Like, you at that point, you didn't even need the job no more.
Well, this is why you gotta and if I hadn't did that, I wouldn't be able to quit.
Yeah.
So the great thing is, before everything happened, I had already decided I was leaving Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago didn't know it, but I knew I was leaving Chicago. So when the Breakfast Club came about, I was like, oh, am I going to New York maybe instead of LA? I mean, I was very vocal, like, oh, this is my job. Everybody in the company knew. I was like, oh, I'm not going to be here by this time. Like, I wasn't excited because I just thought that, oh, this is a slam dunk. Me and Envy went to college together. Me and Charlamagne are great friends. The program director went to the same college. I work for the company. This is Michael Jordan on the basketball field with no players.
Yeah.
Like, but then it was like so much things weren't aligning. So then you just gotta let God be God.
That's right.
And God redirected my whole life.
That's a fact.
But luckily I was prepared, because if I wasn't prepared, I would have had to sit there and dealt with it.
Yeah.
And said like, okay, I'll just wait my turn until y'all give me my shot. but I had already decided, no, I'm gonna give myself my own shot. I'm gonna control my destiny.
You bossed up.
Yeah, that was a good come up.
And you're still making it to every single event. You're on every carpet.
Yeah.
You did have a moment, though.
Oh, which moment? Give me one.
The Taylor Swift moment.
Oh, I love that moment. Let me tell you something, child. I love that moment. That moment probably got the one with Corey is even bigger because I got 8.
I know that's
Corey Ray, she was kind of dismissive, right?
Well, here's the deal. I walked up to her. This is last year on the Grammys. As I walk up to her, I take a selfie, and then she kind of walks off like, girl, like I kind of stopped her. See, nothing offends me. Like you have
that's what I was gonna ask
people have
you.
to know me. First of all, and this is not to get deep, I watched my mother take her last breath. So you gotta understand, words, moments, I am unbreakable to things that people think will break me.
Yeah.
But what I say to that, everything works in my favor. You know how many new followers I got from that?
Sure.
That went to 8 million. Even when it's really the truth. Y'all think y'all doing something to harm me. All y'all do is exalt me, make me higher and get me more awareness. So I love those moments. I love the moment with Taylor Swift because I was I'm walking next to a billionaire and she was like, well, girl, that's what you are to me, a billionaire child. Let some of that money drip off. But even though,
so when they booed her, were you happy?
No.
You can tell us the truth. How do you really feel? I was kind of happy. I'm tired of her sometimes.
I really like Taylor Swift because here's the deal. I appreciate hard workers.
Yeah.
I know the work. People just look at her oh, no, to be on that stage, when I go to Beyonce concerts, I'm tired. I'm just the viewer.
Yeah.
How is she singing, dancing? I respect the work. So Taylor Swift is extremely talented. She does not deserve to be booed at the Super Bowl. She was there to support.
Yes, she does.
You see them Eagles fans are just so.
She's a traitor. She grew up an Eagles fan. She's wearing the Chiefs uniform.
I've seen
she deserves to be booed.
I can't go against him on this one. Usually I'm on the opposite side of Kyle on anything, but he right.
What?
She had that Eagles
she was
jersey
an Eagles
and all
fan,
that.
and she's a
Oh,
traitor.
she was?
She grew up an
Yeah.
Eagles fan.
She's with her man.
Oh wow.
No, you gotta go for your man.
No.
Okay, this is why.
I'm lying. I'll be right rooting for my man. That's how you know
Bring
I
that
love
up in
you.
singles.
No, you have to root for your man. How your wife gonna root for the other team? That
Oh
you
no,
can't?
in my household they know it's Eagles.
Exactly.
If
But I'm
I switch my
saying.
sports team, that means I'm in love, okay?
Yeah.
If you hear me coming in here talking about gold bills, it's because of my man, okay?
Yes,
No doubt.
yes.
All right, we got to wrap things up, but we do want people to support your app.
Yes,
You know what I mean? And
yes.
let people know where they can see you and all those kind of things, man.
Yes.
Tap in with you.
Okay, so very simple. Go to any iPhone, Android phones. Just go to your app store. Write in my name, Kendra G Singles. Learn how to spell people. KENDRAG. It's gonna come right up. Download the app. Make your profile. You can DM people before you match. You can send them voice memos before you match with them to see if you really like them to get their attention faster. Pretty soon, the show is gonna be actually on the dating app. We are changing dating apps forever. So download the app. Follow me on Instagram and all social media platforms. Kendra G Media.
No doubt.
Period.
And I do want to say I'm very proud of you, what you said earlier in terms of leveling up, coming from situations and moving forward and building something great out of it. You've done that. You've always had to hustle no matter what. So to see you in this space is a good thing. Definitely proud of you.
You know, I used to hustle for other people, but now I just hustle for myself.
There you go.
And we're also jealous of you because you don't have to work up at the crack of
No.
dawn anymore,
Right.
but we do.
Do you know I purposely sleep into about 8 o'clock?
I'm
I
Man,
purposely
happy for
sleep
you.
into
that's
8
a
o'clock
beautiful thing.
because we used to get up at 4 a.m. I did
Yes,
it for 8
we know.
years.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then
for sure.
when I started getting up at 7. I would come to work so late.
We can tell your skin is glowing differently now, okay? We're
I love
jealous.
y'all.
We're
No
jealous.
doubt. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Yeah.